Good morning,
Centennial Rotary. Yay! A little bit of a break. So now we're back, and hopefully I remember to change this information on my stuff. So I have Mark April as doing the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Vern, you have our inspiration today?
Dear Lord, we see your magnificent creation when we look at these snow-capped mountains, when we see the blue sky, when we see the hawks flying through the sky. We see your creation when we get the rain and the snow, even when it's too much to shovel. In this season of sharing, help us remember the less fortunate and help us reach out to help them whenever we can. Amen.
Great, thank you. Please take your seats. I have John, do you have a word with you?
I do, thank you. This is by Joe Shepherd, who is with the Palgrave, Ontario Rotary Club. Sometimes when looking for an idea, you find much more. While researching topics to present at our club for my weekly Rotary Minute, I came across a powerful inspirational video produced by Rotary International clubs in Great Britain and Ireland. It is a musical in nature with video images coinciding with taglines. I invite you to close feel what each means to you. You're in a good place. Think about it. Every day you make a difference. You hit the targets, and sometimes they hit you. You put in the hours, yet you still make time for what's important. You do the hard yards. You take responsibility for the success, and sometimes for the failures. You weather the storms and enjoy the time in the sun. So think about it. You may not realize it, but your skills are invaluable. And now? Now it's time to put them to good use, to give something back, to get into a new business, the business of making a difference, the business of improving lives, the lives of those who didn't get your opportunities, the business of saving lives, of making lives worthwhile and fulfilled, the business of caring, the sharing your experiences, of restoring pride and rediscovering dignity. Imagine the difference your time could make, that your skills could bring to bear. Imagine a simple thank you was your reward. Imagine a smile was your return on investment. Imagine what a difference you could make.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Well, I want to thank everyone who helped set up, who helped greet. So we have Paul, Ariochi, who were here setting up, and I know other people were. John Peterson, who's always here setting up. So please be mindful to thank those that set up and who are here regularly setting up, and if you don't do that. We greatly appreciate all of them. And also, Karen Flack for reading out. I have that you are taking down, Karen, is that true? Yeah. Where are you? Okay, so if anyone can also stay and help her, that would be great, since she already greeted today. And granted, she signed up for both, but, you know, it's a spirit of service, so help out. Vern, thank you for that inspiration. Mark for the pledge, Dawn for the Rotary Minute, and then, of course, the people that are doing the Blue Marble and our Happy Bucks later. And just thank you for everything that you guys do and help to make this run. So we have some birthdays that we missed last week since we had a lot of snow, and, you know, we thought it was prudent to cancel so no one had to drive through that craziness, which I know I was thankful for, but hopefully you all were too. We had a birthday last week. Catherine Hoff. On the 22nd was her birthday. And then we have some spouse birthdays. We have the 28th, Dee, right? Tim's wife's birthday. On the 30th, we had Scott's wife, Rebecca. And then coming up tomorrow, we have John's wife, Karen. Don't forget that.
You're kidding.
Mark that down in your internal calendar. And we have some wedding anniversaries to celebrate. On the 26th, Brad and Joan Blutzel celebrated 8 years, according to my sources. And then this week, Phil, you're hiding. Don't forget, you have an anniversary. How many years? 49. I am surprised that Jackie put up with you that long. But congratulations, Phil. We have some Rotary anniversaries too we want to celebrate this morning. We have Brad Habotzel celebrating 6 years. We have Randy Ernest, 9 years. Is that accurate? Yeah. Okay, good. And then Eric Hoff has 2 years. So whenever you see them, thank them for their money. They have been diligent in paying their dues, which we are grateful for. Well, you know, and the service and the friendship, all of that stuff counts too. So today we're doing things a little differently because we have our RYLA students here. So we're going to do them a little earlier than we normally would. But we also have this lovely, today is the first Tuesday in December, and so every December on the first Tuesday we have our votes for our incoming board. So Diana, do you want to come up and represent the board for next year?
All right, good morning, everyone. Last month, I presented the slate of candidates for the board, so we'll do that again, just for those of you who forgot. So, President, myself, President-elect, I did not see our President-elect.
He is not here today.
Okay, so Tripp Butler is our President-elect. Past President, of course, is Samantha Osei Asibe. Treasurer, Barb Medina. You want to come up, Barb? Another photo op. Secretary, Cheryl Mabry. Please come up, Cheryl. Sergeant at Arms, Doug Hanna. Beautiful. Come on up, Doug. Satellite Club, Andrea Tagtoe. I don't see Andrea here. Membership, John Bellum. John, yay. Come on up, John. Service Projects, Diane Zing. Come on up. See why we have John for membership? He's going to bring us in a whole bunch of new members.
He's excited.
Or he's going to scare them away, one or the other.
If Tripp hasn't scared them away, John will not scare them away.
Okay, public image. Where is Mark Garfinkel? I know I saw him. Yay! Now, there's the face of Rotary for you right there. And then at large, David Livingston. David, you want to come on up? Yay. All right. This is our proposed slate of officers for 2020, 2021, and I'm very excited to be able to work with this fine group of Rotarians. So I guess all we have left to do is to have a vote.
So we have counted. We do have a quorum here today. And so what we first need is a motion.
Madam President, I move that we approve the slate as presented.
Okay. Okay. Do we have any discussion before the vote? No. Okay. All in favor of moving it for all as is? Say yes or aye or raise your hand. All right. Any opposed? Okay. And the nominated board is slated as is and approved. That was our official business today. So thank you everyone for being here, for being a member, and for those that are volunteering their time for next year, we appreciate you as well. So now we're going to go ahead and turn it over to our RYLA students so that way they can get off. I know that somebody has a field trip and someone has a test, so we want to make sure that they get to where they need to be. Kent, will you please come and introduce everybody and let them speak as needed?
Thank you. Get everybody situated here. RYLA stands for Rotary Youth Leadership Awards. We sponsor two camps, two types of camps. One for 7th graders going into 8th grade, and then one for seniors, high school students that are sophomores and juniors going into their junior and senior years in high school. These are leadership camps. Rotary, our district, has been doing this for, I think, 20 years now, and probably longer. Every year, we select 5 students to go to the senior RYLA camp. That's at Estes Park. It's at the YMCA of the Rockies camp, and literally at the base of Rocky Mountain National Park. The park surrounds the camp, those of you who aren't familiar with it, on 3 sides. And you can walk out of the camp right into the park. Beautiful location if you've never been up there. The Young RYLA camp is down at the Ponderosa Retreat down in Larkspur. It is east on County Line Road, and that's the County Line Road of Douglas County and El Paso County. And again, it's in a Ponderosa forest, and it's a beautiful setting. And that's for the Young RYLA students. I'm kind of buying some time here so our students can eat. We send 2 students to Young RYLA. And again, that is 7th graders going into 8th grade. There's only the 1 year for that. We being the district, will start taking applications on the website. I'll mention this as many times as I can. RMRYLA.org. RockyMountainRYLA.org. Those will begin around February 1st. The date hasn't been officially announced yet when they'll start accepting applications for next summer's camps, but that will be coming up here this month. So I mentioned this because we'll need applicants for next year. And we have 5, as I mentioned, 5 slots to fill for the senior high students, 2 slots to fill for the junior high students, middle school students. So please be on the lookout for students that you feel would be excellent candidates for this leadership camp. As a parent, I can tell you from experience that this camp will absolutely change your child's life. And I can say that because my middle daughter was, of the 3 kids that we have, was probably not the best student at the time that she attended RYLA. But I knew she had leadership skills, and I knew that they would pay off someday. And so she was sponsored by the Highlands Ranch Club, and she attended back in 2001. And she became a junior counselor for 2 years, the following 2 years. And to say it changed your life is probably an understatement. She became a teacher. Most of you know Megan. And she became a teacher in Cherry Creek Schools. She teaches special education. She is now, what's her title? She's the interventionist for special education at Grandview High School. And basically she interviews students that are borderline special education. They're in regular gen ed classes, but they need some assistance. So she basically assists them in kind of getting them into those special ed classes without making them truly special education. She's also, at this point in time, working on her doctorate. She's finished all her classwork, and she's working on her dissertation now, and that doctorate will be in special education and emphasizing leadership. So I think as Hussein is finishing up. Are you? I think I've stalled enough. Anyway, that's just an idea of where these kids can go and what they can do once they attend this camp. And it's just, 1 week. It's 1 week. And it has a major influence on their lives. But enough of me talking about it. Let's hear from the kids. That's what we're all here for, right? So, let's see. Eric, would you like to start? I think most of you know Eric Ernst. He is one of our young RYLA attendees. And this was an easy selection for me, having known him for Scouts. And anyway, I'll be quiet now and I'll let Eric talk, and he'll tell us about his experience at Young RYLA.
Give him the mic.
Thank you. So everyone here sponsored me to go to Young RYLA over my summer break. And before I tell you how much fun I had and how much I learned, I'd like to share a bit about the location, which I know you just heard about, but yes. So when we arrived, the first thing we saw was a sign that said, "Future World Leaders at Work and Play." And it just kind of was a nice sign that got me into the mood to work in leadership. So we went down from our town of Centennial, down about 40 minutes to go to the Ponderosa retreat, and it's in a foresty area. So when we arrived, we were all put to our dorms and to put our stuff away. The dorm room is just one big room that has bunk beds, and then the boys and girls would be separated out into 2 different dorm rooms. So here's a picture of 3 of the different activities we did. This is the first one up in the far left corner. That is so the first one up there with the fire, it is where we would do all of our meetings and we would learn more about our leadership skills. And then we had to work together to get up that thing on the high ropes course. It was very difficult. And then we also on Thursday, we went on a hike. Thursday afternoon, we went on a very nice hike up and did some photo ops. So now I'll talk about the experiences. So on Sunday, we were all kind of shy because none of us knew each other, and we were all just kind of buckled up in ourselves and really worried. So we were all put in this one big group to play some games and just have fun. Later, we were then separated into smaller groups of 10 to 12 to work on honing our leadership skills in a smaller group. We did many things together, and we kind of became a family over the course of the time. So Tuesday, we were kind of still worried about each other's names. We were all kind of struggling with that. So we played a lot of name games and a lot of different exercises just to get to know each other. And Wednesday, we had a very special experience where we talked about the different things that made us unique and how many of those different things we shared with each other. And we all became very close as a group and as a community. So by Thursday and Friday, we had all become very close. So we wanted to start challenging our commitments as leaders and as friends and almost family to each other. We did high ropes courses, which was very exciting and very fun. And then we also did hikes. We did 2 different hikes. The one on Thursday. We also did on Friday morning, the day we left, we did a sunrise hike, and it was very nice. And we also did some photos up there with our group. It was just a very good experience. I really enjoyed it. So, yes, and yeah. So this is our group. Our leader is our group leader would be Cedar. She's the one that has the green bandana. And their assistant group leader is Emily. She has the darker green bandana. And that is our group. So the district governor came on the last day, and he talked all about what it meant to be a good leader and how this can help you join your Interact Club and how you could work harder in that. We also then had different signs at the bottom where us groups learned about what we talked, wrote little on sticky notes of what we learned for leadership. And in the back, over the entire week, all of those signs had been filled up by different words that the different group leaders found important to them in their adventure through leadership. They would do different speeches to do with that. So after the district governor went, all of the groups came up and they had to talk about their different experiences in RYLA, Young RYLA, and the different things that they found interesting in it. And all of our different group members, including our group leaders, talked about how much fun they had, and it was a really great experience. So I learned two things. The two things I mostly learned about in Young RYLA is trust and leadership. If you trust your group, they will, and the thing I learned about trust is if you trust your group, they will go through and it'll just be a much better experience for the leader. I also learned in leadership that you don't need to be the strongest, tallest, or best of anything. You could be the weakest, you could be the shortest, you could be really anything. And if you have a good message to say, people will want to hear it, and that's what I learned about leadership. So thank you for this wonderful experience, and that is a photo of me with my group leader, and that is the Friday morning hike.
Do you have any questions for Eric?
Yeah.
You ready for RYLA now?
Yes, I am very excited.
Thanks, Eric. Yeah, I'll get it, John. Thank you. Okay, we'll hear from our other young RYLA student, Jackie Riley, and she would like to present and get support and provide support for one of our senior RYLA students, Rachel Zing. So they'll do it together.
Hi. So for Young RYLA, what was really great there is that even though, like, we didn't know. Okay. So even though, like, we didn't know each other at first, we, like, knew no one. We didn't really know what we were getting into. I didn't have any friends from my school there, and, like, some people had, like, 10. But, like, we got together in our team, and we all just kind of, like, clicked right away. It was great. We got to know each other, and by the second day, we had already kind of fully trusted each other, and we learned a lot about, like, integrity, and that was one of our main things about our team, and that was really nice. And then when we did the take a look around, that was really something cool. Okay. It was when they would say, like, a certain subject, and if you were, like, involved in that, you would go up, and you would see, like, all the other people like that. Oh. And then, let's see. Also, like, all the activities we did the high ropes challenge course. I decided to do that, and I hate heights.
Oh, that's too bad.
So, yeah, and then we did, like, after each meal you would go up and, like, just they would play songs and you would just dance. And at the beginning of the week, I would just sit in my chair. By the end of the week, we were all like a team going up and just doing random things and having fun.
Okay, so I guess I'll go now. I went to both Young RYLA when I was in 8th grade and the normal RYLA, and the thing that I remember the most is so stupid, but when we were doing the sunrise hike, it's a silent hike, so like you can't say anything to anyone else. You just kind of have to walk up a hill, and it's dark, so it's really intense. But all that was running through my head, it's supposed to be a time of like reflection and all that, but all I could think of was stay alive, awake, alert, enthusiastic from Young RYLA through my head over and over for probably a solid hour and a half. So that was very entertaining. I had a really good time at RYLA. I sort of knew what to expect, but I didn't I didn't know anybody, and I was very nervous because there was a switch around with like my counselor and my team, and I roomed with a bunch of girls who were on the team I was supposed to be on, who she was in, and so they all really knew each other really well, but I didn't, and I was very worried that I was going to feel left out or excluded, but we had a great time, and it was really nice to see all these other people who I wouldn't really know otherwise. What was I saying? Anyway, so I got there, and I was really nervous, but my team was amazing, and we, this is our bandana. We were the hot pink, and the boys embraced that immensely. Like, they were flaunting their bandanas everywhere, and it was so much fun. Probably my favorite thing that we did as a team was we played a game called Double Tap at our meals, where every time you like were to pick up your drink or something and put it down, you have to like tap it twice. And if you didn't and someone caught you, they would yell double tap, and then you had to do something like, what did we do? We made two of our boys, they didn't do it, so we called them out, and they had to stand in the middle of the cafeteria and just like hug each other for a minute. And some random guy from like another camp walked by them and was like, "You go, boys," and it was so funny. So it was just really, it was a really embracing environment, and we all wanted to be very honest with each other about, you know, who we were and what was important to us. And one of the things that our team, a couple of my teammates were really good at, they loved to perform and they loved to sing. But me, particularly, I'm not a huge fan of that. I don't really like being in front of people, but so for the talent show, we all decided to get up and just like sing a song together and dance like idiots, and it was really nice to be able to do that with people that I really trusted. And yeah, so I had, you know, I made a lot of great friends there, and I have a huge support system now. Especially one of my teammates who lives in Nebraska actually came all the way here for my birthday party a couple weeks ago. So that was really nice to in the snow. So it was really nice to see her again, and I can't thank you guys enough for giving me that opportunity. So.
Any questions for these lovely ladies? No? Take that. Before I introduce our last student who is in attendance today, we had three other students that went to senior RYLA. Jake Decolati. His mom was a member of the club for a while, Sophia Decolati. Jonathan Kopik, who is a student from Grandview High School. And I forgot the last name, Samantha. No. Oh, it'll come to me. You know, I looked at these last night just so I could remember, and then, of course, I forget by the morning. But Samantha was her first name. She's a runner, and she goes to Cherokee Trail. So our last student that's in attendance today is Azucena Hernandez. She goes to William Smith High School in Aurora. And I got a call, an email from her a couple days before she's supposed to go up to Estes Park. And she said, can someone give me a ride up to Estes Park? And I make sure when I interview the students to make sure they have a ride. We're going up and coming back because I got stuck once before doing that. And I said, well, I don't understand. I thought you had a ride. Her little sister's birthday was the day she was supposed to go up to RYLA, and she was turning 6. She was 6, and her parents had planned a birthday party for her, so her parents couldn't take her up. Once I found that out, it's like, well, gee, I guess I'm going to Estes Park. So anyway, we got to know her pretty well. We had a nice long drive up to Estes Park with Candy and I, and so we got to know Azucena pretty well. So without any further ado, I'd like to introduce Azucena Hernandez.
Hello, everyone. My name is Azucena Hernandez. RYLA for me was a very incredible experience. It was, again, I didn't really know anyone going up there. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't even go to Young RYLA either. It was just interesting to see. We were expected to work together with strangers, and I didn't know anyone. Again, it was interesting to see how a team of leaders, everybody there was a leader. It was more, to me, a leadership camp. And it was interesting to see how we all interacted with each other, being leaders, and see who would be the leader of the leaders. So with the challenges they gave us, like, I don't know if you guys have heard of it, the spider web, where you have to get through the spider web without touching it. You can carry your teammates. So you have to carry people that you don't even know. So that was like kind of like getting to know people, trying to trust each other. Those were the few days, as Eric was explaining, I was also kind of like in RYLA. I also learned that people lead in different styles. So during RYLA, we also took what is the True Colors test, which is basically just traits that come from different types of people. And I was the green, so I'm very analytical. So I guess that contributes to my leadership style, which I learned was to observe first and keep quiet and just see what's going on in a situation, while more of my orange companions, who are first to go in there, I think that's who were the leaders in my team 3. I was the maroon color. It was just, we very early got very vulnerable with each other. The first few nights we spent getting to know my junior counselor and all of my fellow teammates, and we got really, really vulnerable. It was nice to see that my JC, he was from where I'm from, so he graduated from Central High School, which is my home high school, and like he experienced what I experienced, so that was just nice to see. And it was nice to see how deep we got. He told us about how his friend he lost his best friend in one of a shooting around his area, so it was just very vulnerable. We were, by the end of RYLA, I made friends. We still talk to each other. We have a group chat, and we just, we talk to each other each day, share what's going on with our lives, if it's cold outside. I was fortunate to also be exposed to new experiences with the motivational speakers there, who all, were also there. It was just an environment where everybody was open to share their story and their how they overcame their obstacles in their life. My senior counselor as well, I was fortunate to have her as well. She shared her stories. Actually, I also needed a ride back to home, and my senior counselor was just grateful. I'm grateful for her. She gave me that ride back, and it was another long ride that I got to meet her as well and her challenges, which is just crazy because you never really know what's going on with another person who's just in the same room as you. And actually at RYLA, I learned about a word. It's called sonder. It's like realizing that people have the same, it's just a complexity that you are within, and you know, you don't really know what's going on in another person's life. But it's as complex as yours. So yeah, I'm just so grateful that I got to experience this, because I have never gone to a summer camp, much less been a week away from my parents and all that. So I'm just grateful that I got to meet a bunch of people and see different types of experiences that people have gone through. And yeah, thank you so much.
Any questions? I also wanted to introduce a former RYLA student, Michael Zing. I think you remember he was here last year. So I'm going to put him on the spot a little bit. Are you going to apply for junior counselor? Okay. The reason I did that is that you can apply just like you would to be a RYLA student on the same website. So if you want to apply, or if the students want to apply, if you want to apply, you, Rotarians, can apply as senior counselors, and you do that also on the same website. Anyway, that website again is Rocky Mountain RYLA, RMRYLA.org. So I want everybody to remember that. And let's look for some students that we can sponsor to send to this year's camps. Any questions in general? Deb?
I don't have a question, but Gordon Close and I were very fortunate to interview some of the students this past year. And we interviewed her. And if you have the opportunity and can take the time, it's really, especially for me who does not have any children, it's a real eye-opener to see what kids are going through at an early age and how their minds work and how inquisitive they are. We had a great time doing it and just harassed these kids to no end, but it was really a good opportunity, and I would hope that more people in the club can get into the interview process because it's well worth it.
Yeah, thanks for the plug, because I can always use help come April and May to interview. So yeah, it's great if I can get some help to interview.
I have a question.
Yes,
Do the
Catherine.
kids actually have to live here in Colorado to participate? Are you required to be Colorado?
Not really. They have to have their own transportation to and from the camp.
Yes, exactly. Okay. I actually wasn't thinking about them. I've got some pretty amazing nieces.
Well, the reason I hesitate is because we participate with 5440, which is Wyoming and Nebraska, or western Nebraska. And so we do have students that are from the 3 states that attend. If you're talking about from outside that region, I'd have to check with RYLA. I don't know. I think they have to be within the 2 districts.
Yeah, but if they have parents that are living in this...
They technically have an address in Colorado.
Yeah, then they could. Yeah.
Just saying.
Yep. Andres.
I know how Eric and Rachel found out about RYLA. Microphone, sir. Come on, can you hear me? No. Really?
People who are being recorded.
All right. I know how Eric and Rachel found out about RYLA, but what about Susanna and Jackie? Jackie, how did you guys find out about RYLA?
That lady holding the microphone is the reason.
Yes.
Diana.
Diane Zing. So Diane and I have known each other for many years, St. Mary's moms. And it was brought up at a meeting that they had an opening for a young lady, and she's like, Jackie. So we immediately reached out and got an interview scheduled. And I'll tell you what, I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. This has been an amazing experience for her. She didn't talk about how this group chat, they've bonded. These are kids from, there's nobody that she met that is in her hood. Everybody's all around in different states. And it's an amazing experience, and they've bonded so much. So thank you.
And to answer the other 3 students, including Azucena, were from Gateway Aurora Club, and I don't know how they reached the students. How did you hear about RYLA?
Me and Dan Davis are very, very active in the Gateway Club as far as getting the word out to. As far as getting the word out, they have been counselors at RYLA and Young RYLA for many, many, many years. And Kay is especially active in getting the word out to students in the high schools and junior high.
And so we do, I work with my two children who are teachers in the Cherokee schools. Because of their positions within the school, though, they're a little limited in how, and the students that they do know that can attend, but they do help, and they certainly said suggestions. So, any other questions? Okay, there you go.
Well, thank you, Kent, for that, and thank you for all of our RYLA students and Young RYLA students that shared with us. These are the future world leaders. Isn't that exciting that we get to be part of raising them and teaching them what it means to be a good leader? I wish I had that. I'm sure I'd be a better leader at this point if I had RYLA or Young RYLA. But thankfully, everyone has a lot of grace for me right now. So, but thank you so much for taking your time out, and for the parents too. You know, they're so vital in this aspect of letting their kids go to RYLA and Young RYLA. Or they just want a break, I'm not sure. I don't have children, so I can't say one way or another.
It doesn't hurt.
Doesn't hurt, okay, see. There we go. So we have another exciting aspect today. We have a new member. So we are going to do a member induction today. Her name is Janet. Janet, do you want to come on up? So our membership director is not here. Apparently he's ill. And the mentor that she supposedly has, Mary Alice, is also not here. So we are going to attempt to do this all on the fly. With me, and let me get this here. Okay. Oh, John?
What's that?
Do you want to come up?
Oh, sure.
Here.
Absolutely.
You gotta learn how to take these off the here, because apparently I am struggling. So one thing is that we have a red badge for you. So the red badge is kind of the initial aspect of you being a member, and then we have a checklist which should be in your packet. If not, myself or our membership director will send to you. It gives you a few items to do, like go to a board meeting, be a greeter, do the pledge, inspiration, all of that. So then as you go through that, then you will graduate to our lovely blue badges. Okay? So I have this induction right here. So fellow Rotarians, see here. It is the duty of our Rotary Club to add new members from time to time so that we may not only increase our usefulness and influence as a club, but also to extend the spirit of Rotary throughout the community. Today, I welcome to our ranks and admit to membership Janet Shaw. Rotarian Janet Shaw, you've been elected to membership in this club because your fellow members believe you to be a worthy representative of your calling, and also to possess qualities that will permit you to exemplify the true spirit of Rotary in your public, business, social, and private life. I wish to impress upon you that you have been admitted not only to the Rotary Club of Centennial, but also to a worldwide association. And by virtue of your membership in this club, you will be welcomed into the Fellowship of Rotary Club in the world. The honor and privilege of Rotary membership carries with it duties and obligations. You will be expected to attend the club's meetings regularly, to perform your share of club service, and to place your knowledge and talents at the disposal of the club in its tasks of carrying the principles of Rotary into the daily life of the community. I ask all members to please rise. Rotarian Janet Shaw, in the name of the Rotary Club of Centennial, I now formally admit you to membership in this club and affix to your lapel, John, if you want to affix, our emblem. Fellow Rotarians, I commend to you our newest member, Janet Shaw, and charge all of you to welcome her. We need a picture. Do we have one already? Oh, one more. Great, thank you. So do you want to say anything, or? And I have a whole membership packet for you, so let me give you that. There's your membership packet. All right. So welcome, Janet. So I had forgotten to change the name in here, so I almost said Rob Johnston 3 times. So we welcome Rob again. So going into a few other business aspects, Diana, do you want to talk about state of our city?
Absolutely. All right, I am so excited about the 2020 state of our city. Ask me how excited I am.
How excited are you?
I am that excited. Now, what I want to do is to share my enthusiasm and my excitement with the club and get you guys on board with what it is that we're doing for the 2020 state of our city. And honestly, I am really excited. So we had 2 challenges to overcome, and I've been working on overcoming these challenges since May. We had the state of our city in April. On May 1st, I started working. First challenge was logistics. Where were we going to be? Were we going to be here in the Embassy Suites again? And what was that going to look like? The other challenge in terms of logistics was, were we going to be a morning event or a luncheon event? And the answer to those 2 challenges was very simple. But I spent 9 months, 8 months, however long it was. I felt like I gave birth. But I spent all of that time researching. Some people would say I was chasing my tail. I do that from time to time, but my philosophy is trust but verify. So I have verified all of the information. We will be here in the Embassy Suites for a luncheon event. I don't see any excitement. I don't see any enthusiasm.
Well, it's nice to have a decision.
Yeah, we have a decision. So having made that decision, we now had our next challenge. We had to figure out, okay, we've been here for 15 years. What are we going to do to make this event feel better? So we met with Mayor Pico, myself, Catherine Henshin, Samantha. We all met with the mayor and Allison Wittern a couple of weeks ago. And what we all heard from Mayor Pico was, I would like to have this event focus around real people. Okay, now that was a bit of a challenge. We had to actually go back and process that. So we did, and being the Rotarians that we are, we're very creative. So we came up with a strategy that we think is going to make life a whole lot easier on everyone. We will still market to the business community. First of all, to our current sponsors, and then we'll expand to new sponsors that we're hoping that you guys are going to be able to share some information about. This is how it's going to feel a little bit differently. The focus this year is going to be bringing community into focus. What we will do is each sponsor, we have tables of 10. Each sponsor will they'll get the full 10 seats, but they'll only have to fill 6 seats. The other 4 seats, the sponsor will get to acknowledge and showcase an employee in their company who has given of their time, talent, and resources to a Centennial nonprofit. So that employee will get invited to the luncheon and will be invited to bring a guest. The employee will then nominate a Centennial nonprofit who they have been very active with working with, and then that nonprofit will also get to attend at the sponsor table. The twist in this is, that what we're going to do is we're looking at creating an award, and I can't give you too much information on this yet, but the award is going to be the Centennial Community Choice Award. And what we'll do is we'll have a vetting process, but then we will have 3 finalists who will be chosen interactively at the event. So a whole lot of moving parts going on, and we now are moving up against a time frame where we really have to implement things pretty quickly. So what we're looking at doing now is looking at our infrastructure and determining what we need to do to make sure that technologically we can do all of the things that we've said we're going to do. So we're going to be asking you guys for potential sponsors. So if you have a business, that you have an employee that you'd like to showcase and honor, this is the opportunity to do it. Or if you just know of a company that might want to showcase an employee at the event, this is the time to start thinking about it. I will have more details after our board meeting tomorrow, and come January 1st, we are kicking this thing off, so get ready for takeoff. Thank you.
Thank you, Diana and Catherine. They have been so vital in kind of shaking this thing up a little bit and working with the city, the mayor, and just making this something new, something that really reflects what the mayor wants. So there is more to come, and I'm really excited to know that and be revealing it as we get more solid information. So thank you, you two. We greatly appreciate all your hard work. So now we have John McCarty. There you are.
Good morning. As most of you who've been here during the month of November, except for last week, I played with that post. I played with that post last 2 weeks ago.
No more pole dancing, John.
Oh my gosh.
The month of November was Rotary Foundation Month. And we had some presentations about what we are doing as a club individually and what we are doing in partnership with other clubs to carry out Rotary's mission around the world. We had a very appropriate invocation, or Rotary Minute from Dawn, and then I think with what Diana said about Centennial Community Cares, those work very much into Rotary's mission. And my challenge to you, now that we are in the second day of December and Rotary Foundation Month is ahead, my challenge to you is to think about how you want to be part of Rotary Foundation. And you have some opportunities doing your year-end planning. 1 week from today is Colorado Cares Day. Colorado Gives Day.
That's the 10th.
It's the 10th.
The 10th. But you can give today, too.
Yeah, I don't care. Anyway, what my challenge is for each of you as an individual and part of this Rotary Club and part of Rotary around the world, knowing the good that we do, my challenge to you is to think about whether or not it is within your ability to make a contribution either to Centennial Rotary Foundation or Rotary International Foundation. If you are inclined, you could complete a Paul Harris Fellow by giving the additional amount that you might need to get to the $1,000 level. If you need that information, I can get it for you. Barbara can help me. We'll get the list of where people stand if you're interested in that. But I would also say that we as a club do all of our fundraisers, and the money goes into the foundation, and the foundation then brings the money back into the projects that we do. We have chosen as a foundation not to continue to increase the corpus, but you as individuals could make contributions to the Centennial Rotary Foundation that would have a lasting effect on our community. So give that some thought. If you are interested in the Rotary International side, see me. If you want to complete a Paul Harris Fellow, I'll be happy to help you get that done. And who do we want that? You can see any of the Rotary Foundation board members. Hold up your hands if you're a Centennial Foundation board member. We can all help you make a contribution. I think it's just a check that you would give to Barbara made out to Centennial Rotary Foundation. So give that some thought between now and the end of the year, between now and next Tuesday on Colorado Gives Day. Thank you. Yes, Deb.
Do you guys give points? Do you do the sharing of points in this club?
We have done that in years past, and the board has not taken that up as an issue for this year, but if somebody were interested in doing that, I would be happy to carry the issue to the board this year.
I wish you would, because Mark and I have sponsored several people to get Paul Harris pins, and we felt very strongly in my last club, everybody should be a Paul Harris fellow.
About 2 or 3 years ago, we had a push and used a lot of points and got several people to their Paul Harris Fellowship.
Thank you. And as you're looking at what you're possibly going to be giving, kind of leads into our holiday party. So on your table, you have the holiday hooray, and on the back are those that have already RSVP'd. So if you are not on this list, please make sure you put your name first, last, as it says. And then if you are bringing anyone, whether that's your spouse, a friend, your dog, whatever, anyone who's going to be eating and needs to be charged $35, your guest, put the number that you will be bringing. So this is an opportunity for us to come together as a group and enjoy us, right? It's also an opportunity for the silent auction that Deb will be doing, and bringing all of the travel gifts together. It's the alternative to what we originally were going to do in November. So this is just a great opportunity to take whatever you were going to give in December and put it towards a possible auction item. Like, I know that there is this really beautiful jacket that Roxy brought in that is going to be going up. Jacket? Your jacket? It's a beautiful one. And some other items that I know some people are very interested in. So please be sure to sign up, and we'll have more information on that. And then, yep.
I have not set a time yet, but within the next week or so, I would love to have some help, because I've got about 80 plus items that need to be put out on tables, and we need to decide prices and things of that nature and how to get them there. How soon can I set up for out at Heritage at Eagle Bend for...
We'll talk, we need to talk with Jennifer about that.
But if any of you, please, are interested, I could really use some help. All of the gifts are over at in Gordon's warehouse. And so we'll line them up on tables and get that done within the next week or so.
Well, can you
No.
No. Will you provide a date and time, and then we can send that out, and then all of us that are able, we can go and help?
I'm happy to do that.
Perfect. Awesome. Catherine.
So 2 things. Want to clarify, today is Giving Tuesday, and next week is Colorado Gives. So next week is the week you do all your, like CASA is next week.
Right.
But today's Giving Tuesday. With regards to the auction, the tradition in the past is that if you are not present, you need to give someone your proxy. And the idea is it's fun and games, but every dollar that we raise at this auction goes straight to the foundation. So if you have an idea of how much money you want to give to the foundation, you can overbid on items. It all goes to the foundation and you get your item. But make sure, join the fun if you can't be there and give your proxy to somebody because the money does go. And Barb is respectful that if you didn't give anybody your proxy, she never goes over it, but join in the fun.
But be careful who your proxy is, or you'll end up with a $500 bar of chocolate. I'm teasing. Real quickly, I have a lot of baskets, like 10 or 12 of them, of all different sizes. Is this a good time to give them to somebody? To you? Okay, great.
We can use them when we all get together to put those baskets and travel gifts together.
However, there will be fewer baskets this year.
Okay.
But thank you.
Okay, if you can just let me know when and how and where.
Perfect. Excellent. So we do have a few other things. One thing I wanted to mention, and something I'm sure you all have in the back of your subconscious mind going, what happened to that visioning exercise we did way back in June? So we are bringing that back out. This week I will be sending out an email kind of introducing to you guys what is our next step. I've had a conversation with Diana and with Catherine. Catherine will be taking the lead on meeting with the committees, and together we're going to go top down and bottom up to create goals for our whole vision for the next 3 years. And that includes the rest of this year for me and for Diana and for Trip. We're all on board. And so I just wanted to let you know that we are working on that. And that's something that I'm so grateful that Catherine has decided to take over, because she is phenomenal at that kind of stuff. And please, that is not a place that I'm phenomenal at. Yes?
Do you guys have the email that I created, the PowerPoint that summarizes?
Yes, I do.
You've got that?
So it's part of what we're doing. So yes. Yeah. But that is something that's coming out, some new stuff starting in January. So I wanted to mention it. I will be sending it out tomorrow. I'm just refining the wording so that way it can get Trip's proofreading done in there. Next, we have Christmas trees. We're doing some Christmas trees this weekend.
Good morning, everyone. Our Christmas tree giveaway is this weekend. It's a 2-day event. Saturday is the putting the packages together. I have sign-up lists on all the tables except this illustrious table back here. Saturday, we're meeting at the Arapahoe Library Administration Building at 9 o'clock. We'll be moving the ornaments and the lights from the storage container to the Administration Building conference room. Then we'll be boxing those. That should take a couple hours to complete. Then we'll put the boxes in a box truck, and then we'll distribute them the following day. So we have enough people for the Saturday event. Sunday, I'm still needing some additional people. Our families will arrive about 9 o'clock. Last year, they were waiting for us to open. So I would like everybody who's on the sign-up list to be there at 8 o'clock. For those of you who have not been at the Administration Building, at the intersection of Arapahoe Road and Peoria. Go south. Don't go to the airport. Go south, and it'll eventually turn into Bronco Parkway. And right before you get to the sheriff's office, on the right side at the light, is the administration building parking lot. So it's pretty easy to find. Yeah, Tim's going to have his truck. Well, you won't have it for Saturday, but you'll have it for Sunday. So we have a vertical Rotary sign that Tim is going to put on his truck to advertise everything. So this has been a tough year for Christmas trees. There's a Christmas tree shortage. We should have the rest of the trees hopefully in the storage container by the end of the week. We have about 40 so far. Mark Gale and I will get the rest of them this week. So the weather's supposed to be great. No snow, it's pretty warm. It's a great event. So if you haven't signed up for the Sunday event, again, be there at 8 o'clock. We'll distribute it until we're finished. We have 100+ trees and ornament boxes to give away. We should finish by noon. So it's a great event if you haven't done it before. So I look to see everybody on Saturday and Sunday. So any questions, give me a call or email me. The committee's worked very, very hard on this. So we're excited for our 3rd annual event.
And it's always really fun. So if you have the time, please participate. You'll get a lot out of it. Roxy.
Be sure to wear your Santa hat or your Santa dealy bobbers on Sunday. Oh, Ken has supplies you can choose from.
And then, of course, after our Christmas trees, we have Santa Claus on the 11th. So, Diane, you want to talk about that?
Next Wednesday, a week from tomorrow, guys. So if you haven't volunteered, please let me know that you want to volunteer. We will be divvying up our people between the Arapahoe crossings and the Quebec store. We're helping a significant amount of kids this year. We are also siphoning off a few dollars of our Santa Claus project for a sub-type Santa Claus project that Tom's probably going to talk about as we move forward. So here we are. We've got Littleton and the Highlands Ranch Sunrise are going to be managing the Kipling store. It's nice. It's their 2nd year, and they are completely self-sufficient and running it on their own. We have DTC, which is pretty much running the Arapahoe crossings, and we're just joining them for our people. And then our club, we're probably going to have 40, 50 kids at Quebec. The key is to have no more than 50 kids at each coal so they're not overrun. It does start at 7 o'clock at each location, so we want to be there a quarter till, not more than that. And so just keep your eyes out for the emails that'll be going out, confirming everything. And does anybody have any questions? Yes, sir.
Is there publicity given these events?
There was in the past where we had done articles. We're taking pictures during the event and then writing a story to put into the Centennial, but we're not huge on the media this year like we were last year.
Is that good or bad?
It's indifferent, really. We didn't see much of a big effect from 5 years ago, I guess. But we would like to have more media involvement. When the committee got together, we created 3 more positions in the committee, because keeping in mind, I'm not the only one working on this. There are members from every single club participating. So one person is going to head up all organizing the kids, but we're actually adding a media person for media efforts. We're also adding a person for corporate sponsorships. Because we reached out and there are companies that want to participate. And so media, corporate, and I can't remember off the top of my head what the 3rd one is. We can outline that in our summary that we report. That's another thing. When we do projects, if you're the spearhead for any project, it's always important to summarize that project and report back to the club and the foundation. I just want to remind people of that.
And pictures.
Yep.
Yeah.
So 2 things. When you're there participating, yes, no faces of the kids. It can be their backs. We can't identify the kids on the events. And then, of course, have your Santa hats. That's how they're going to know that you're a Rotarian. Any other comments? Okay,
Great.
thank you.
Do we have any other business before going to travel gifts? Let's start this way and we'll go that way.
Good morning. I just wanted to share with you our upcoming speakers for the next 2 weeks. And next week we're having Carissa from the Aspen Flying Club. We highlight a Centennial business once a month, and she will be coming next Tuesday. And then the week after that, we're having a gentleman who's going to be talking about building ships that are featured in Norwegian churches. I believe that's how it works. Is that right, Don?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Norway has a tradition of having ships in their sanctuary of churches. And he's going to talk about these Norwegian church ships and the significance of them.
So please bring your friends, guests who you'd like to become Rotarians, and thank you.
Deb?
Just real quick, I know that there's a lot of things going on, but I do have a schedule for bell ringing. It's for the Salvation Army. There are several slots that are still open. If you're interested, Gordon's going to help me, John's going to help me, and we're going to be at Arapahoe Crossing, but there's still several slots that can be filled. We really have a good time. Gordon and I bring our guitars and we sing Christmas carols, and it's really, really so fun to watch these little toddlers that come up and they have a quarter to put in the bucket. And they are so excited that they're contributing to something at Christmas time. So if any of you want to help join with us, get in touch with me, and we'll see if we can get you into a slot.
Perfect.
It's at King Soopers, Arapahoe Crossing. That's where we do the food
drive.
Food drive. But it's there, and there are 2 kettles that are out there. And Gordon and I don't do a lot of it since we're playing, but we're there to help. So if you want to know something, just get with me. I won't take up any more time.
The slots are the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th.
Yeah. And Gordon and I are normally always out there on the 24th because it's hard to get people to do it then, but that's probably the most fun that you have that day. So anyway.
Well, thank you for organizing that, Deb. So if anyone's interested, please talk with Deb about that. John, did you have something else? Nope. Okay. So we're running short on time, but we're going to go ahead and do we have travel gifts?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Deb and then Kathy.
Okay, real quick here. Last week I was in New Mexico. Went down and spent two nights in Santa Fe, 2 nights in Ruidoso, and 2 nights in Taos. In fact, we were in Taos for Thanksgiving. So I brought back 2 jars. Has anybody ever had prickly pear? Mm-hmm. Do you know what prickly pear salad is?
No.
Have you ever had? Anybody?
No.
Did you? Anyway, prickly pear is not pear.
Those kinds.
No. Hold on, kids. It's oranges. And what you do is you soak your orange in this sauce and then use it as a salad. It's really, really good. Anyway, so I brought 2 things of that back, and I also brought back some queso dip mix, a couple of them. So if you ever go down to New Mexico and there's a snowstorm, beware, because Albuquerque does not know what to do when snow falls. And instead of getting 2 to 3 inches, you would have thought they got 30, the way they panicked. But they do have 50 snowplows in Albuquerque. I just want you to know.
Kathy, you have a travel gift?
I was in Morocco, and I brought back a shawl, so we can put that in. And I also brought back an old fossil named Frank. No, I brought back, it's a 400 million, believe it or not, 400, because I brought my little sheet. It's called an Orthoceras fossil, and they're 400 million years old. But it's a wonderful little coaster, or can be a paperweight, anything on your desk. So that's it.
Great, thank you, Kathy. So as far as Happy Bucks, we're going to forego that because that's just going to take a lot of time. So keep your Happy Bucks money, and we're going to do a super Happy Bucks next week. So let's go ahead and do our blue marble drawing. I can draw, yes.
We do one more mix.
All right. I am not biased because I don't have a ticket. That's right. All right, so we have 8, 7, 9. All right, Don?
Well, here's the good news. Lunch money.
At McDonald's.
Yes. And like previous weeks, the odds are remarkably like they were last week when we weren't here. And the week before, and many weeks before that. In other words, it's a long shot, but please, come to look in there and see.
Oh, too clear?
That's to encourage everyone to play again next week.
What's the pot?
It's hundreds.
Around 450.
There we go.
We used to get excited because we know every week how much we were going to win. Well, I tell people. I should probably just love one.
All right, so just a reminder that we do have a board meeting tomorrow at Cottrell Printing, 7 a.m. So I will send out an email to the board to make sure we have a quorum, because I know some people have different schedules, but that way everyone can participate in Santa Claus on the 11th. So, Karen?
And we have no meetings the 24th and 31st?
Correct. We will not be meeting on the 24th and the 31st because of the holidays. So, however, on the 24th, you do have bell ringing. So, go see Deb for that. And, yeah, we are done. Adjourned.
The four-way test.
Oh, four-way test. I'm gone 1 week, and then there we go. All right, so for all we think, say, and do, is it the truth? So fair to all concerned. Will bring good will, better friendships. Beneficial. Sure. Double.